Hi, I'm Liam, and I know what you're thinking. He must be here to talk about the new Weezer EP, Seasons, Spring. And to that I say, no. If anything, I'll talk about the whole Seasons project when it comes out, but I can't say I'm really excited for that. For now, I'm here to talk about something I am excited about, and that's a new album by my Canadian sweethearts, PUP. I found this band at a really weird time in my life, where I was very uncertain about everything, basically pertaining to my future, and my feelings, and my mental health. Basically, something that seems to be a running theme in my life. But then I found this band that was geographically very close to me, and whose lyrics and songs made me feel like I wasn't alone with these feelings of uncertainty and dread that I had. The special thing about PUP was that they could take those feelings of dread, of existentialism, nihilism, and make them beautiful. They created a sound that made me feel very much at home, and I've been a big fan ever since. I've seen them several times now in Montreal, and I was even in the music video for Free at Last. That being said, I try to go into every new album I listen to without any kind of bias and look at it as its own work of art separate from everything else, even though I inevitably end up usually connecting things back to the previous works. But for this album, I was ready, I was excited, so let's look at the songs that make up the unraveling of PUP the Band. We start off with 4 chords, which is a very simple beginning to the album. It's just Stefan playing piano, singing, which eventually leads into these like 808 drum samples, and then there's all kinds of sort of wall of noise going on. It's a pretty interesting way to start the album. That leads into Totally Fine, which has these very abrasive verses that lead into a punchy, catchy chorus that makes you say, okay, this is a PUP album now. There's a very pretty bridge that has these like sort of nice leads, pretty melody, and that leads into a giant sounding outro with the signature PUP gang vocals. And it's like, yeah, this is a PUP song. Next up is the first single they released, which is Robot Writes a Love Song. This song is quite good. It feels like a natural progression from Morbid Stuff, and by that I mean it's catchy, it's clever, and it's more marketable. Not that that's a bad thing, I can definitely see why they use this as a single. Speaking of singles, next we have Matilda. This song follows the common PUP trend of writing heartstring-pulling, sentimental love ballads about non-human subjects. First, there was Mabou. Then there was Sleep in the Heat. Now we have Matilda. The chorus melody alone is enough to make you really feel things, and after all, pop punk is best when it's making you feel things. Next up we have Relentless. The song was an interesting choice to follow the last 2 songs with because it feels to me like the kind of song PUP would usually put near the end of an album. That's not to say it's bad by any means, but I don't know that it keeps you riding the same high that the album has provided up until this point. 4 Chords Part 2. This seems to be like the overarching theme of the album, sort of like Phases and Stages or Time of the Preacher by Willie Nelson. It's over very quickly and it kind of just leads into the next song. Then we have Waiting. I almost marked this song off as the aggressive song of the album because every PUP album has one. Reservoir, Old Wounds, Full Blown Meltdown. But goddamn, the vibe change between this aggressive, harsh verse and then this bouncy, catchy, major key chorus, it hits just right. It takes that old school format and goes, kisses it gently. Next up we have Habits. This song starts with like a sequenced drum machine that sounds very like similar to something you might hear in a Smashing Pumpkins song or something, but the way they integrate it with the full band sound is done really well. I'm glad that PUP is playing around with new ideas and sounds in a way that doesn't sound forced. And they used it to make a song that is sonically very pretty. Cutting Off Corners is a sort of slow jam. It has some nice leads and the chord progression is nice, but it's not an especially high point for the album, in my opinion. Up next is Grim Reaping. This song is short and mostly sweet. It's sort of like a fun track you can dance to. The chorus isn't especially catchy, but does every chorus need to be very catchy? There's a little bridge and outro part with like a trumpet, so that's kind of cool. Like I said, it's sort of trying something new, and I think it mostly pays off. 4 Chords Part 3. This song basically serves no purpose, I guess, except for maybe a little bit of a laugh. So, it is what it is. Lastly, we have PUP the Band is Filing for Bankruptcy. This song kind of has that like aggressive song of the album vibe too, but I don't know, personally, I don't really like this song. I feel bad saying that because it feels like a very sincere song, and I'm sure that PUP was very happy with it. But for me, it just feels kind of disjointed and messy. I don't know, maybe that was the point? No. Who am I? This album undoubtedly feels very PUP. It's got loud, overdriven guitars backed by a mighty bass tone, very pretty guitar leads, gang vocals, harmonies, catchy choruses and melodies, everything you've come to expect from PUP. It does feel with this album and with the last EP, Morbid Stuff, that PUP is starting to feel very comfortable blending sensibilities of a more alternative sound with those of a more pop-oriented sound. To me, this isn't a bad thing. In fact, I really like this direction that PUP is going in. It's been a pleasure being a PUP fan all these years and seeing their audience grow with their expanding sound, and some of my favorite songs on Morbid Stuff were the poppier songs like Kids or See You at Your Funeral. Unlike other bands, PUP is really good at experimenting with new sounds and new ideas while still sounding like PUP. I mean, really, come on. How could you not love these guys? I did a rating breakdown for the album based on these numbers, which gave me an average rating of 7.2. But I decided to say, fuck the average. I'm gonna give this album an 8 because they deserve it. I think PUP has done enough to earn themselves an 8 on this album. But don't listen to me, and certainly don't listen to certain music critics. Go out and listen to this brand spanking new PUP album yourself and let me know what you think. Maybe you'll like it, maybe you'll hate it, but you won't know unless you give it a listen. If you like this video, why not like, why not subscribe, and maybe, just maybe, I'll make more videos like this in the future. And hey, who knows, if you got an artist you know they're coming out with a new album and you want to see my take on it, maybe I'll do that. Let me know. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.